Alright, there we go. 46.4, 47, I'm sorry, 47.4, 47.1 kilometers each. Seems fine. We're going to go ahead and quick save at this point, and we're going to check our kind of stats here. We have 2 grand Delta V on this stage, and we have a bunch in the lander as well, which once we come back and redock will be transferred here. So I'm going to say overall we're going to have a little bit over 2,600 to go back home, which again I'm thinking is enough. I'm almost certain it's enough. Let's go ahead and hop kind of over here. Now, if I remember correctly, Moho, even though it's really close to the sun, it's kind of, it doesn't rotate around very quickly, so the days are very, very long. Or maybe it doesn't rotate around at all, or I don't remember how it goes. But the point is, really need to make sure I'm landing in the daytime, because it'll be daytime for a long time. So let's go ahead and hop our Kerbal out of here, transfer crew, here we are. We're going to take Jeb out, we're going to put him in the lander can, and we're going to undock. Let's just, I guess, decouple node is what it says. Switch back to here because it was wanting me to go the other way. And I'll turn off SAS, turn on RCS, and pump back a little bit to kind of separate myself. Disable SAS. I'm sorry, RCS. And at this point, I think I'm going to go ahead and flip around. Activate my engine. We have 4 grand worth of Delta V on this craft. And we're going to go ahead and do our burn. And I don't really think it matters kind of where I land. Everywhere looks about as good as anywhere else to me. Right there looks fine. Kind of a shallow trajectory. Again, another quick save just in case. And we'll kind of warp over to that. We'll go ahead and turn on surface because that's what we'll be using here. And let me go ahead and get my Kerbal up and a surface right here. Let me see real quick. Not surface, rendezvous, orbital. Where is the thing that I wanted to look at? 1 second. There should be edit. Surface. Huh, I'm looking for suicide burn. Where is suicide burn? Body, miscellaneous. No, that's not good. Orbital. Shouldn't be under here, huh? Normally there is a suicide burn thing here. I wonder if that's going to pop up as I play. Let's just find out. Well, that was the whole point of having the engineer in here, was so that I could use the suicide burn readout. And now I don't have it, so we'll just see what happens here. At any rate, we get to look at the majesty of Moho as we fly over. You can see all those textures rendering. Very cool. How high are we? Let's do the terrain altitude. Yeah, we're 20k up. So it's still pretty high. Higher than I want to for any kind of... If I want to slow down now, let's see. I think it's because the trajectory is too ballistic. I think is why it's not giving me a suicide burn. We're also going pretty quick. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and kill off my horizontal velocity. And we'll start thinking about landing. I'll probably land kind of over here in this area somewhere. Yeah, it's not showing me. suicide burn. Well, that's really frustrating. I wish I would have looked that up ahead of time. I do apologize because if I got anybody excited about the thing that I brought the engineer on for, but I did not. Last time I played, there was suicide burn built in here, and what that is, I guess I'll go ahead and give you. Maybe I haven't explained it yet. And what that is go ahead and point down so I can start killing more of my horizontal velocity, which you can see right here. So I'm pretty much going to drop straight down at this point. Let me focus on that just for a second. Okay. Alright, and then gear. Impact time of 20 seconds. And burning it off pretty quickly. Should be pretty easy landing. Slope is 7 degrees right here, so I'm going to land on a 7-degree incline. Not too bad. Go ahead and kill it a little bit more. So what a suicide burn is you time it so that you do all of your burning at one time. You time your fall and how fast you're going and how far away from the planet you are. So that way you burn all of you just burn everything all at once. Let me focus on this. There we go. So there's like a little number that pops out. It does the math and says, okay, if you burn at this time, then by the time you touch down, your vertical velocity should be 0. So you touch down at the exact moment that you want to. And it's very handy to have. Unfortunately, I didn't see it on here, and I wish I knew why. That's not, of course, not thermal. Man, I wish I knew why that wasn't here. I have to look that up. Anyway, here we are, landed on Moho. So very cool. Actually, I need to kind of remember where we, how I was oriented when I came, so we can make sure we match that when we go back up. This would be a good time for a quick save, just in case something weird happens. And we'll just simply grab all of our appropriate science, which is quite a lot. There we go. Getting all that. Grab our seismic scan. And then we will EVA Mr. Jeb, do an EVA report and a surface sample for him. Very cool. Now let's make sure these jetpacks work. They do, but barely. How much monopropellant do we have? Okay, we have enough. They do work, but it's not great. Let's let him moonwalk across here. Alright, here we are, landed on the surface of Moho, another place that we've been. Let's see, how many places have we actually landed on? Duna, Moho, and Drez? And Elu? Did we do Drez? I think we did Drez. Let's do our boring landing zone 1 here, and say, Moho. Moho is really hot. Because it would be. It's really close to the sun. I'm assuming it would be pretty hot. Let's go ahead, hop back up into the craft. Spent enough time here already. Jeb, back to work. Oh. Okay, come on, grab it, get your footing. There we go. Bink. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set our craft as target. And we're going to let it fly around the planet and catch up. I'm going to try to time it best I can. Something like that, probably. Actually, I'm going to let it go around the planet one more time because I want to see how it flies over me. This is a great tip. So, here we go. See how it's flying over? I can see the angle that it's flying. What I'm going to try to do real quick is kind of turn this craft. Oh, that's not the right button. There we go. I'm just going to throttle up a little bit and kind of... There we go. Kind of just turn my craft. And yes, see it kind of going this direction, kind of from here to here. That's going to give me an idea of how I need to turn my ship whenever I want to go rendezvous with it. So with that in mind, let's let it go around one more time. Because now at least I know... right there-ish. Now at least I know which way to go. Let's do another quick save. fire it up and turn it over. Ooh, a little aggressive. And gears up. Oh, I'm sorry, I have, there we go, SAS is off. I was wondering, I was like, why is this being so froggy? Alright, and then here I'm gonna just kind of using this nav ball here to see what I can do about changing my, there we go, my inclination with respect. Let's go ahead and point prograde. Not with respect to target, with respect to the orbit. There we go. Get my craft in a position that I like in terms of the nav ball. Throttle up. Get my orbit matched up with its, which is about 47K. There we go. And at this point I should be pretty close whenever I do my maneuver. So right here I'm just going to set up a new maneuver to circularize, although I don't really need to circularize. I think it's kind of hard to say if I need to or not. In fact, I'm just going to do a maneuver that puts me close to the other ship. I'm not really going to worry about circularizing so much. Let's see, do a little bit of radial. Huh. Well, that's a good one right there. Let's hold that up. Okay. And that's fine. So a little bit of a maneuver here to catch this second intercept. Go ahead and hop on a target. 16-second burn. We're going to fly through this procedure. Go over here to the 8-second mark. And so I think I see, I know I haven't been explaining a lot, but I think you see what I did there. I just set up a maneuver here at apoapsis to kind of get a circularization going, and then I just kind of messed with it a little bit to be somewhat, to be in orbit, but to mainly get a nice intercept with the other craft, and that was my main goal here. So let's go ahead, excuse me, and there we go. What did it wind up being? 4.9, which you guys know me, it's totally fine. So there we go, quick save, and let's go ahead and warp all the way around. Now I will set this to target mode. And I don't really need the map view anymore. Now I can just see the craft. Are we going to be doing this in the nighttime? No, we are going to be on the day side of the planet. Perfect. And then last time, map view, 4.9 kilometers, okay. So at least I know what this little thing is going to say. Yes, and now we do all of our kind of normal docking stuff. So I'm going to find my retrograde marker, and I'm going to find my anti-target, and I'm going to burn in a way that's going to put my retrograde on my anti-target. I'm going to wait till we are at our closest point of 4.9, which is right here-ish. And I will start pushing that retrograde target onto the anti-normal. I'm sorry, the anti-target. Let me try this again. my retrograde node onto the anti-target. There we go. Now we are at least heading in the same direction with a little bit of velocity, 8.7 towards. And because I'm impatient, I'm going to speed this up a little bit. And that should have really pretty much corrected our path to the point where we get pretty close to each other. Let's see. Pull that retrograde on just a little bit more. Flip back around to retrograde. Just make small adjustments, and when we get a few hundred out, I will kill the rest of our relative velocity. So let's say about there is fine. Ooh, too much. So I brought plenty of monopropellant, I think. So from this point, there we go, from this point on, it'll be all monopropellant. Let's switch to this craft, and we will set our, here we are, we will control from the Clampotron. We will select that as our target, and we will point at it. Here we go, and it kind of lumbers around and turns towards us. And then now I can start moving in for our approach using the IJKL, H, and N buttons, and WASD on the left side. And I'm just putting that prograde, you see I'm putting that prograde marker to the right of the kind of center diamond of that, so that way I continue pointing kind of directly at it. Here we go. It kind of drifts on top of that target, and at this point, assuming nothing drastic happens, we should be kind of perfectly lined up and heading directly towards each other. That should be the case. One thing I might need to do is rotate to see if my craft fits in between those 4 fuel tanks. I don't think that's going to be a problem, but just in case. I don't think it is. I don't remember how it looked. At this point I'm drifting a little bit, so I'm going to push my prograde to the kind of bottom right, just so I can continue to drift more in line with the mothership here. And now we're here, I'm coming in a little hot. And, well, beautiful mate. Beautiful mate. Very, very, very pretty, in my mind. Let's go ahead before I do anything else, and let's open this up, because I have already forgotten to do stuff, but, or you may think I have forgotten to do stuff, but I haven't. This is hard to deal with, so I'm just going to EVA and do it from there. All hatches are obstructed. Can't exit. Well, that's frustrating, so let's do this instead. Let's transfer crew Jeb into here. And then let's take this, we'll transfer crew Tanvin. Transfer him into here. And then now he should be able to EVA. Alright. And what I'm going to do is collect data and restore and kind of fly up here. Hop in there, you. There we go. Collect and restore. Okay, those are those 2 pieces. Now what I need to do is get him back inside. Transfer him back to the main pod before I forget that, because I will absolutely forget and he will just be stranded. Cool. Now I can open these doors and there it is right there. Collect all. That should pull all of the data from all the science that was in here. And then I should pull up the other science, crew report, all of the things. Although I have already made a mistake in that I need to put Tanvin back in here, because I forgot to do an EVA port while he was out. So quickly transfer him over. EVA report. Great. Can you hop back in? Board. Transfer back into here. Okay. Now we have everything that we should need, and I will transfer all of that science back into here. Collect all. Okay. There we go. Got it all. So we got science from around and science from the surface itself. And look, and then we're flying back over landing zone 1. Very cool. Okay, so at this point, we're, at this point I have to use the restroom. So, quick edit, I'll be right back. Alright, I know a lot of YouTubers don't tell people when they're going to the restroom, but I didn't want you guys to think I cheated or anything. At any rate, let's go ahead and grab all of the fuel from the other craft and put it into this one. So, we don't need... Yeah, it's all just liquid fuel. Oops, wait. Am I doing it the wrong way? Stop. Out. There we go. Oh, this is going to take a minute. In. In. It went from all of them? Good. Yeah, it's going to take just a minute. Let's see, all of those right here. In. And lastly, right here. Click, click, click. Click, holding Alt while I'm doing all this. In. I don't need the oxidizer, because these don't burn oxidizer. Is that correct? Yeah, they don't burn oxidizer. So, yeah, because these are just liquid fuel. And then in here as well, that's called liquid fuel. So I'll just do a real quick check. Oh, stop. Real quick check. Doesn't look like there's any fuel on any of those. Okay. So that's all been spent. And indeed, I did gain back 1500 Delta V. So that's good. Alright, cool. And at this point, we can go ahead and decouple. Right. Undock. There we go. Goodbye, you are useless to me. Now, typically, I would like to not make a bunch of space junk, but in this case, I am. Alright, so here is KSP. Let's make that a target. And I'm going to try, I wish I showed out here, but I'm going to try to see if I can do this kind of at the one of the nodes here. I think I'm going to time warp until we are... It's hard to say. Let me set up a node now, a maneuver, somewhere now, and just kind of see what happens. But otherwise, I'll set up a maneuver that fixes our inclination difference, which that would be ideal. So there is kind of the most efficient place, so we'll go ahead and burn out. And we'll see if we happen to get an intercept. We very well may. Ooh, it's actually really close. Let me see. Let me just give me a second to fix this real quick. Yeah, it's gonna be tough to get one here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until Moho is at one of the nodes, the inclination nodes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start doing that right now. Oh, I need to do it from the tracking station. Okay, well I'll do it from the tracking station. And essentially, if you can look and see where Moho's line crosses over, kind of at this point where Moho's line crosses over Kerbin's line, I'm gonna burn it there, and that will put me in an orbit appropriate to intercept Kerbin. And that's what I'll do. I'll see you there. Okay, so I set up a maneuver that has an inclination element to it, and gets me at the same height as Kerbin is. So I'm going to go ahead and perform that. It's going to cost me 35.74 of my remaining 42.46. We're getting close, but still within reason. So I'm going to go ahead and perform that maneuver now. Alright, the burn is complete. So what I'm going to do is time warp out of the sphere of influence of Moho. And I'm going to set up a maneuver here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the orbit button here to see where we are in these different orbits. If I leave everything alone, and that third orbit looks pretty... Oh, look at that. Okay, so this orbit, 4 years from now, gets us a very, very close approach. So I'm going to work with that one. And for 7.6 meters a second more, I get an intercept. So all I have to do, for the low price of waiting 4 years. So I will see you guys in 4 years. Alright guys, here we are at the node. Blink and you'll miss it. And boop. There it is. So we got that intercept after years and years of waiting. We are finally on a course. I'll add a maneuver, switch over to KSP, or KSC rather, and make all of the necessary adjustments. We will be coming back home with a Y. Oh, interesting. Oh, I think I just okay, it just huh. I wonder why that is. Why does that keep happening? It keeps disappearing once it gets down kind of in range. You saw that, huh? Interesting. Pull it in a little closer, continue to go down. Scale this up a little bit. Closer. Oh, of course we'll hit the moon. And come back. Well, if we're going to hit the moon on that side, we'll go on the other side. Well, that's not much better, unfortunately. 59. Excuse me. Yeah, it's unfortunate we're going to hit the moon. I'm going to go ahead and set this up with an intercept of the moon, and then I'll do some tricky maneuver stuff here to use the moon to do something. I'll figure it out once we get there, I guess. But anyway, another long period of waiting. In fact, I think I can do this one with you guys here because it's only 37 days. It's not too bad. Just gotta make sure not to pass it up. And watching that time tick down, and it's like several days, reminds me of that line in Futurama when they're like navigating the suns into place to fix the gravity anomaly, you know, some kind of science mumbo jumbo that they're working on. Anyways, Leela, of course, is piloting the ship, and she's like using a tractor beam to push the sun into place, and she's like, just a few more billion light years there. Like she like it's a small thing, you know, of course, but we're talking about sun, so it's billions of light years. I find that humorous. In fact, Futurama is probably my favorite TV show of all time. I guess that probably wouldn't be surprising to anybody watching this Let's Play. I can imagine that the two are pretty intrinsically linked, aren't they? Let's go ahead and warp out here. I should quick save as well. I think I can quick save while time warping. Let's just go ahead and quick save. I'm going to try to flash through the rest of this as quick as I can. Fortunately, again, we're at the point where you guys have already seen all of the stuff. The fun stuff was over there in that Moho way, and we've already taken care of all of that. So here we are, catching up to the ship, and boom. We are in the sphere of influence. Oh, yeah. So the moon's going to kind of help us out just a little bit. We are, unfortunately, going to gain some speed from the moon, so I do have to be a little bit careful of that. But, yeah, there we go. I can use the moon to kind of slingshot us around. And bring us down to about 40-ish. 42. We're not going particularly fast. We might be going fast once we get closer, but this should be okay. Same thing, we'll hop over on that maneuver node. It's a relatively quick, short burn. Ooh, way past it up, 36 minutes, ouch. That's alright, it's just a radial in burn, excuse me. It should be that big a deal. In fact, I can go ahead and start burning it now, it doesn't really matter. We're not really looking for any kind of accuracy here. I'm going to put somewhere I can see these numbers. I don't need that anymore. So wait till it gets down to about, I guess, 40, 42-ish. There we go. Another quick save is in order. And here we are. We'll fly quickly by the moon. Oop. And then, thank you, moon. Alright, now here's the exciting part. Let's go ahead and warp over here. Point the craft retrograde. We will do, although I think I probably could capture What was I gonna say? I think I could just capture if I just launch the crew capsule, which is what I'm planning on doing. I'm gonna go ahead and why are we why is Kerbal Engineer? Oh, okay, yeah, Kerbal Engineer's gone because I jettisoned the thing. Okay. I'm gonna burn off just the last little bit of fuel that we have. There we go. I'll just go ahead and burn it right here. It doesn't have a whole ton of thrust. It's not going to really do a whole lot for us, but it should help just a little bit. And I'll auto work, kind of time up through all this. So it was only 400 and I think it was 420. I think it was 420 meters a second left. Let's go ahead and stop all that. And there we go. Go ahead and arm the parachutes as well, because they won't go off until they're ready. And I think this should capture me. Yes, I am captured. Fantastic. Let's see if we get a direct landing or if I have to go around the planet again. I might have to go around at this rate. Look, I'm going pretty fast and I'm climbing out of the atmosphere. Yeah, so I might have to take one more lap around. But at this point, I can say with a pretty high degree of confidence that everything's okay. You know, something I was just thinking of. What if the game... I think there are mods that do this. Every time I make a suggestion about a video game, somebody says, there's a mod that does that. But it'd be kind of interesting, maybe if there would be an option in the game for a type of... essentially a way to allow things to fail. Whenever you're playing the game, kind of randomly, you know, kind of like in like Apollo 11, for instance, how there was a part that failed and they had to come up with a solution on the spot. Now I know there are scenarios in the game where you can set up that kind of thing, where an event will trigger and then it'll like break one of your landing legs, and it's like, okay, well now you got to deal with that. I am aware of that, but just kind of in the base game, if you're doing kind of a science mode or something like that and you're playing the game and like for instance this right here, one of the parachutes doesn't deploy and I've got to figure out how to maybe do an EVA and repair the parachute or something like that. I don't know. It's something kind of interesting. Yeah, I mean obviously it would be very frustrating too in a lot of cases, but it would be pretty interesting. This isn't the it is. Yeah, we're going to land pretty close to KIC. I knew I recognized that mountain range. Yep, there we go. And provided I put enough parachutes on here, I'm pretty confident that we're going to land safely. So, there we go, to Moho and back. Of course, landing on the planet, getting a lot of science. We didn't get all the science. I know I didn't get in space high and in space low. And of course, there's a lot of biomes that I didn't explore and whatnot. I'm not at this point interested in getting like comprehensive science or anything like that. So, well, thank you very much. I'm probably going to go ahead and put the... do something with the editing here so we can look at something else on the way down, but this seems like a good place to go ahead and do my outro. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do genuinely appreciate it. Hope that you've been enjoying this series. We're coming to the end. We've only got one planet left to go to, and there's one planet and one moon. I might try to do something special with Eve and whatever Eve's moon's called, I forgot. And Gilly. Yeah, I think it's Gilly. At any rate, I do appreciate you being here. Hope that you're enjoying the series, and if you like, comment, and subscribe if you're interested in that kind of thing. And I'll see you guys next time.